In the boxing world, Terence Crawford is a name that has frequently gone unappreciated, yet he has continuously shown himself to be one of the most talented and formidable fighters of his generation. Known as the Omaha World Champion, Crawford has had to prove himself time and time again, especially after his thrilling knockout victory over Errol Spence Jr. in the 9th round. Nevertheless, his triumph over Spence was only one part of his broader desire for fame. Many in the boxing community, notably boxing great Floyd Mayweather, have only lately started to recognize Crawford's full brilliance despite his extraordinary abilities. Floyd Mayweather, whose illustrious boxing career has raised the standard for upcoming competitors, was one of the people who hadn't completely recognized Crawford's potential. However, this changed as Crawford was ready to take on Canelo Alvarez during a training session. The two fighters trained together, and Mayweather was forever changed by their sparring session. Crawford's talent, especially his power and accuracy, shocked Mayweather. Not only did Crawford's technique impress Mayweather, but he also demonstrated his punching strength in a way that made the unbeaten champion realize how strong Crawford really is. Mayweather acknowledged that he had previously underestimated Crawford, thus this was a revelation. In order to prepare for Crawford's bout with Canelo, Mayweather and Crawford worked on many facets of Crawford's game throughout their camp. Enhancing Crawford's defense was a prominent aspect of their preparation. Crawford learned some of Mayweather's trademark moves from the elusive defensive genius who had made a career out of it. Mayweather used the shoulder roll, one of the most important defensive techniques, to assist Crawford deflect blows from the larger opponent. Mayweather taught Crawford how to move more precisely and nimbly in the ring by working on his footwork in addition to his defensive strategies. As Crawford prepared for an opponent like Canelo, who is renowned for his strong punches and adaptable technique, this extra level of talent made him even more dangerous. Mayweather had a strong belief that Crawford could defeat Canelo in their ultimate fight because of their sparring session. Mayweather declared his belief that Crawford will not only outlast Canelo but also outmaneuver him. Mayweather compared himself at 36 to Crawford at this point, based on his own experience against Canelo in 2013. Despite the age gap, Mayweather easily dominated the bout and won on points in a majority decision. Mayweather had previously faced Canelo when the Mexican fighter was only 23 years old. Mayweather quickly dismissed Canelo's skills, calling him nothing and asserting that the fight had been simple for him. Mayweather's victory over Canelo was regarded as one of the most complete defeats in Canelo's career. There was some controversy around Mayweather's remarks about Canelo since he took issue with the compliments that boxing fans and pundits had given him. He said that Canelo had been overhyped, particularly since he had defeated Mayweather at a time when Mayweather was nearly 30 years old. In spite of Mayweather's comments, Canelo has since become one of the most well-known figures in boxing, winning numerous world titles in a variety of weight classes, including the coveted undisputed champion title at 168 pounds. Even though Mayweather's attacks on Canelo may have been painful, they simply served to increase debate within the boxing community regarding the Mexican fighter's legacy and his ability to compete against someone like Crawford. The bout between Crawford and Canelo has been one of the most eagerly awaited bouts in boxing history. Four-division champion Crawford plans to jump in weight to take on Canelo, who has emerged as one of the sport's most powerful fighters. The weight disparity between the two combatants, with Crawford increasing from 154 to 168 pounds to take on Canelo, has some commentators worried. Like his prior performances against lesser opponents like Amir Khan, many observers think Canelo's size advantage could lead to a knockout victory. Nonetheless, Mayweather's support of Crawford's abilities and their shared training session raise the possibility that Crawford is equipped to meet the task. Mayweather is sure that Crawford can handle the challenge, even though the weight disparity is still a major discussion topic. Mayweather, who is renowned for his smart ring strategy, has noticed something unique in Crawford. He thinks that Crawford is a more than competent opponent for Canelo because of his special set of abilities, which include his ambidextrous fighting style, his ability to switch between orthodox and southpaw positions, and his general ring IQ. Crawford's ability to confound opponents by changing stances, as he did against Errol Spence Jr. in their eagerly awaited bout, has been praised by Mayweather. Mayweather noted that Spence had prepared to fight a right-handed opponent, but he was thrown off balance by Crawford's southpaw style, which allowed Crawford to put on a strong performance. Many of Crawford's opponents have found him to be a nightmare because to his ambidextrous skill set, which Mayweather thinks will give him the advantage in a bout with Canelo. One thing that makes Crawford unique among boxers is his versatility in the ring. He is a particularly challenging fighter to prepare for because of his ability to switch styles in the middle of a battle, whether it be by changing stances or modifying his tactics to take advantage of his opponent's weaknesses. Crawford might be the ideal opponent to challenge Canelo's domination in the sport because of his versatility, great counterpunching skills, and keen boxing IQ. The debates surrounding the battle have only gotten more heated as it gets closer. While other fans are more pessimistic, pointing to Canelo's knockout power and size difference as potential barriers, others are certain that Crawford can unseat Canelo and become the new face of boxing. Crawford has maintained his belief in his capacity to compete at the greatest level in spite of the criticism. He has repeatedly demonstrated that he is among the world's most proficient and formidable fighters, and he is prepared to face the challenge that Canelo poses. By facing one of the biggest names in boxing today, Terence Crawford hopes to solidify his status as one of the best in a sport where brilliance and legacy are frequently determined by the most difficult obstacles. Crawford's position as one of the best boxers of his time may be cemented with his impending bout with Canelo Alvarez, which is set to be a landmark event in boxing history. Fans are excitedly anticipating what may be one of the most thrilling and hotly contested fights in recent memory, and the excitement surrounding the bout is only increasing. Crawford and Canelo's rivalry is about more than simply two fighters with different fighting styles and skill sets. It's also about a legacy being carried down from one generation to the next. Many people think Crawford might be the next big thing in boxing, following in the footsteps of boxing greats like Mayweather and Canelo, as he tries to establish himself at the top. But how Crawford is viewed in the history of boxing will be greatly influenced by the result of this bout. Will he step up and show that he is the greatest, or will Canelo's strength and size be too much for him to handle? Some boxing fans are still unsure of the outcome of this battle, but many have already made up their minds. While some are thrilled to see Crawford push himself in a heavier weight class, others are more wary, pointing out that the 37-year-old Crawford might not be able to handle Canelo's strength and experience. Whatever the result, there is no doubt that this bout will have a significant impact on the sport's future and might be a game-changer for both competitors. The rivalry between Canelo and Crawford is undoubtedly one of the most exciting bouts in boxing as the battle gets closer. The stage is set for an exciting bout that has the potential to alter boxing history because both boxers are at the peak of their abilities. It needs to be seen if Crawford can overcome the obstacles presented by Canelo's stature and strength, or if he can demonstrate that his abilities are sufficient to unseat the current champion. However, one thing is certain: boxing fans won't want to miss this bout. In the end, Terence Crawford wants to establish himself as one of the greatest boxers of all time, not just win another fight. More than just a challenge, the fight with Canelo is a chance for him to demonstrate that he is worthy of being discussed alongside the greatest fighter of all time. Crawford will continue to train with the same ferocity and resolve that have characterized his career as the bout approaches. There is little doubt that his legacy is at stake, but only time will tell if he can up to the challenge and win.